Oh my god, if you guys had access to behind the scenes on my channel and can search the word Mancera for comments, you would see that there are tens and tens of requests for me to do a top 10 Mancera fragrances video. Well, today, not only do I have a top 10 Mancera fragrances video for you, I've got a top 12 instead. 2 extra fragrances ranked from my least favorite in my collection to my most favorite in my collection with a discount code to Twisted Lily, Perfume Guide 10. And if you're curious and are interested in buying samples or fragrances, you can always go there and check out with that discount code. Plus, stick around till after the outro, or outro, which I like to say. You guys don't like it when I say outro. I'm going to talk to you about my Twisted Lily sample kit as well, as there are some available still, which will allow you to buy it for $25 and save 10% off using the Perfume Guide 10 discount code, and it'll come with a $25 coupon towards a future fragrance. Anyway, all of this is discussed coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, today I'm talking about Mancera fragrances. Yes, I've been requested this many, many times. You know, Mancera was kind of in the shadows of Montal for me. I really do enjoy Montal. It took me a while to acquire some of the Mancera fragrances I wanted to acquire to put together a video like this, but also ended up with more than 10, so we are doing top 12 today. And you know, I do like Mancera fragrances. There are some fragrances that I do like, but also there are some fragrances that will remind me of fragrances from Montal because they are kind of not kind of related, they're definitely related brands. So some of you that know Montal don't know Mancera will recognize some of the smells when you're smelling Mancera and you're familiar with Montal and vice versa. Anyway, I'm going to let you know which fragrances I have in the top 12. And then of course I'm going to get to the Twisted Lily sample kit as well, as there are still some out there. This is the sample kit. And as I said, stick around till after the outro or the outro, and I'll tell you all about that and which fragrances are in that sample kit. But before I get to all of this, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below. And also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So if you're curious to buy anything from Twisted Lily and you're looking for a discount code, you can always use my discount code, Perfume Guide 10. That'll save you 10% off. And it'll be on any Mancera, Montal, or any fragrances on their website. But let me know how many of you are fans of Mancera, Montal, and what are your favorite fragrances from this house? Put a comment down so I can find out. But we're going to go ahead and get started with a fragrance called Black Gold, this one right here. This one actually, to me, reminds me a little bit of Arabians by Montal. It's Mancera Black Gold, which reminds me of Montal's Arabians. Not Arabians Tonka, because I find Arabians Tonka to be very different. But if you compare Black Gold to Arabians from Montal, you'll see some similarities. And I think the similarities come from the fact that this is lavender, and also the Arabians fragrance is also lavender. Lots of lavender here. But this Black Gold features lavender, cinnamon, violet, jasmine, leather, marine notes, woods, nutmeg, citruses, white musk, patchouli, and oud. So it's a, you know, I think kind of goes in the direction of an aromatic, spicy, you know, bordering fougere style fragrance, but of course it has all these unique notes in there, and it does lean masculine in comparison to some of the other fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about today. But all fragrances in Mancera's catalog are targeted unisex. You just have to, you know, smell something and say, okay, I like the way that smells, I'll wear it, whether it's feminine or masculine, whatever kind of a thing, you know? But for me, this one definitely does lean masculine. And it's also not my favorite out of the bunch that I have here, so that's why it's ranked at number 12. So Black Gold by Mancera at number 12. The next fragrance is a fragrance I reviewed last year, I believe, from House of Mancera. It's Amber Fever. Now, in comparison to Black Gold, I find this one to be a little more interesting. But it is ranked below because I have other favorites that have come after this. But this is ambery fragrance in Mancera style. It's not your traditional amber as in something, you know, like it's not like a true full-on amber, because this has other things going on with it. It has notes of amber, caramel, whiskey, tonka beans, white musk, teakwood, rose, hazelnuts, and oak moss. So as you can see those notes or hear those notes that I mentioned, it does go in a different direction. There's a caramelly touch, and traditionally in a traditional amber fragrance, I don't see caramel pop up. But it might have caramel-like qualities. Whiskey is another note that you can pick out here that's also not necessarily found in an amber fragrance. So I would say this is more like a Mancera style amber with that unique twist of the different notes. There's also the hazelnuts here and the teakwood. That's also not necessarily something that shows up in a lot of fragrances or amber fragrances. So it's a great wear, but I have to rank it in a way where it's the least favorites go at the bottom and the most favorites go at the top. But either way, Amber Fever by Mancera is at number 11. Let me know if you know this one, and let me know if you're a fan of this one, Black Gold. I'd like to find out if you have a bottle or not. The next fragrance might disappoint some of you, but I have to put it here. I like it. It's a great wear. It's a simple wear. It's a summer wear. It's a fresh wear. It's Mancera CEDRAT BOISE, a brand new bottle that I bought recently because mine went down pretty fast. I used it up. It's been a while since I've had the other bottle. But this one, everybody compares it to Aventus. And yes, it does remind me of Aventus, but I think this one has... it doesn't have the pineapple. I don't get the pineapple-y touches here. This is mostly citruses with a perhaps light touch of a pineapple-y thing happening, but it doesn't fully develop into a pineapple for me. That's why I never say, it's pineapple fruity. A lot of people think this is pineapples, and it's not to me. Even some of you were saying, how come I never featured this in my pineapple fragrances video recently? Because I don't really get pineapples with this one. But it's a great citrus fragrance that's slightly leathery, slightly woody, and aromatic, but features citruses, black currants, woods, leather, aquatic, jasmine, spices, and vanilla. So these notes I took from Mancera's website, not from other databases. So these are the accurate notes that are, mentioned for these specific fragrances. And even though it's got that leather note in here, I don't get much leather until it's at the very latter stages of the dry down for this one. Woods also pop in. I get more woods than leather. And then the black currant comes in as well. You do get that fruity touch. And perhaps I think the combination of the citruses and the black currants perhaps kind of give off a little bit of a pineapple-y vibe. But again, I wouldn't call this a pineapple fragrance. It's mostly a very, very fresh citrusy fragrance. So check that out, Mancera CEDRAT BOISE. The other thing I wanted to also bring up that Mancera credits aquatic jasmine. I'm assuming there is such a thing as an aquatic jasmine that grows near the water, or is this something that they've kind of created or made up for this particular fragrance? But yeah, there is a little bit of a jasmine-y touch in there for sure. The next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Oud Exclusive, this one right here from Mancera. And this is a great oudi, spicy oudi fragrance. I think the cinnamon is really, really prominent here, although they don't really credit cinnamon. Mancera has a habit of crediting explosion of spices in a lot of their fragrances. As I was compiling my notes for this video, I do see that they mention explosion of spices, and they do mention that here. But as a spices, concoction of spices note, I get lots of cinnamon here, lots of it. If you like cinnamon, you're gonna like this one. If you like warm spices like cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, you're definitely gonna dig this one. But it also has lots of oud. It's called Oud Exclusive, of course, but there's definitely a rosy touch in here as well. But with patchouli, violet, leather, vanilla, white musk. This might hint at something like black oud from Montal, but to me this is a lot syrupier than black oud. Black oud to me is more of a dry rose and oud combination. This definitely has a lot of ambery touches, balsamic touches. So it's a syrupier in comparison to the black oud. I would call this a beautiful fragrance, but sadly it's here at number 9 because I have some other favorites that come after it. But if you like syrupy, spicy, rosy oud fragrances, definitely check out Oud Exclusive. I think it's definitely a great fragrance. The next fragrance, this was a toss-up between this one and the previous one, and since I kind of trying to get back into appreciating vetivers more lately. I ended up putting Vetiver Sensuel at number 8. And this one, to me, I think is a very bright vetiver, very citrusy, very zingy, and you know, peppy. Like there's a peppiness about this vetiver. Vetiver tends to be kind of damp and kind of weighty, but something uplifting about this one, and I think it's all the different citruses. And it's a great wear, and I think it would be perfect for summer wear because it's got lots of fresh notes because of the citruses. But with Mancera's Vetiver Sensuel, you've got vetiver, woods, oakmoss, amber, lime, orange, mint, patchouli, lemon, bergamot, and orchid. Lots of citruses, as you can see. It's chock full of citruses, and even though it's lots of vetiver, I think the citruses balance it out. And if you're looking for a fresh vetiver, definitely Vetiver Sensuel. And I've tried vetivers that are, you know, combined with lots of citruses from designers, and this actually has a heft to it in comparison to something very, very fresh. You can experience it. It's not one of the most intense Mancera fragrances though, but it's also not a wimp. But it also really smells beautiful. If you check it out, I hope you do. But let me know if you're a fan of this one, as I do think it's a great vetiver fragrance. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is another one I reviewed last year. I believe it was last year. This is called Crazy for Oud. This one's definitely fun, a fun fragrance, but it's oud, but you know, it's one of those gourmand sweet ouds again that those of you that might not like oud fragrances might, you know, appreciate something like this. But it has Laotian oud, leather, tiramisu, rose, violet, magnolia, patchouli, vanilla, white musk, and woods. You know, I really do enjoy this one. It's a fun, unexpected love. I do really pick out the oud in here, but it's toned down with all the other notes. Leather is definitely here as well, and the leather is also toned down. You experience it more in the dry down for sure, like it amplifies when the other notes are, you know, kind of fading away. But the tiramisu is really prominent here. But for me, I don't really get like a real tiramisu-like smell. It's more of an experience. I think there's not really a chocolatey touch because tiramisu is sprinkled with lots of chocolates. It's more of the creaminess of the tiramisu and the slight booziness. Very, very slight because it's not really too boozy. There's rose as well that kind of comes through, and I feel like the violet is also very, very prominent. You can definitely, when you put your nose to it, it totally smells like violets with all the other notes. But a great scent. Check it out. Mancera's Crazy for Oud. Let me know if you are a fan of that one and you wear it and appreciate it like I do. So the next one I'm going to talk to you about is definitely a very popular Mancera. It's called Instant Crush, this one right here. And this one is definitely really prominent, reminding me of something like Baccarat Rouge. That whole ambroxan type thing that Baccarat Rouge is known for is really, really prominent. But this definitely is in the style of Mancera fragrances. So it does wear like a Mancera fragrance. It's intense, it's overwhelming, but really, really sexy as well. Loads of saffron here with citruses, amber, rose, vanilla, ginger, sandalwood, white musk, oakmoss, jasmine. Jasmine, oakmoss, really, really prominent notes for this kind of sexy, amber, woody kind of experience. But the saffron is also very, very prominent, giving us the slight leathery touch. Not too much, but it's a beautiful fragrance. Lots of woods under there as well, that when you're wearing it, the woods will pop through. And that's why it's here at number 6. Even though it does have a clone-y touch to it, it reminds me of Baccarat Rouge, but then again, it's not really Baccarat Rouge because there's a lot other things going on here. So Instant Crush at number 6. This next one's brand new, and I'm loving this one. Really, really loving it. The next two are brand new for me, especially for this video, and I'm digging the way they smell, and it's my type of fragrance. This is Velvet Vanilla for a very delicious vanilla concoction, but that's also kind of going into a tropical-esque direction, you know? Vanilla, tuberose, white musk, pear, angelica, jasmine, black currant, mandarin orange, neroli. So even though it has tropical touches here, I think it's a neroli tuberose vanilla combo, and it lightly hints at something like by Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy, but Love Don't Be Shy didn't have tuberose. I get major tuberose here, but I also get that orange blossom neroli thing, and mixed with kind of a vanilla touch kind of reminds me of it. It is very, very sweet though. If you don't like sweet fragrances, vanillic fragrances, you're probably gonna hate this one because it's definitely tooth-rottlingly sweet, which I like. I like sweet fragrances. It's very, very calming, grounding, and comforting all at the same time. But it's fun. It's a fun wear. This I would probably pull for when it's cold outside, not very warm, not summer fragrance definitely, and we've been having some cool weather here and I can totally get away with this one. So that is Velvet Vanilla. Check it out if you don't know it. I think it's definitely pretty solid, especially those of you that like fragrances like Love Don't Be Shy from By Kilian. The next one is a tropical island getaway, Holidays from Mancera. What a delicious fragrance this is. I'm kind of obsessed with coconuts lately, and this does not disappoint. It's really, really yummy. But coconut and tropical all together, and it kind of also reminds me of sunscreen, suntan lotion kind of thing happening at the same time as well. This is featuring coconuts, TR flower, Ylang-Ylang, vanilla, sandalwood, light marine notes, white musk, and bergamot. So yeah, it'll remind you of the sea a little bit, but more of the sunscreen, suntan lotion, sun kind of fruity, coconutty kind of thing. But really, actually, really, really delicious. And the TR flower is definitely there too. And I think once you add TR flower to coconuts, you'll really have an explosion of island tropical kind of smells, and this is full-on tropical coconutty floral fragrance. If you like the idea of sunscreen, suntan lotion, coconuts, TR flower, you know, island vacation smells, definitely try Holidays. It's really, really yummy. I'm surprised how great it is, and this was recently recommended by some of the folks in my group that I asked for some coconutty fragrances. The next one is something that's also similar to a Montal fragrance. This is Roses Vanille from Mancera, and I love Intense Cafe, and this reminds me of Intense Cafe, but you know, it's reminding me of it, but it's not like 100% identical. There are like you know, nuances that are different. So if you like the idea of Intense Cafe, you don't have it yet, you might want to compare it to this to see how they compare, and you perhaps might dig one over the other. So that's something that you should try. But Mancera's Roses Vanille has totally different notes than Intense Cafe. Roses Vanille features Turkish Delight with rose, lemons, intense vanilla, white musk, and cedarwood. So totally different notes, but smells kind of similar. Is it a little bit of a trick to us, just to trick us to say, okay, this is what notes we're using, but really it's going to remind us of another fragrance that's using those kind of notes? So there's a little trickery going on in perfumery, I think. Do the notes really represent what the notes are in a fragrance? It'll remind us of things like that. Either way though, I'm not going to get into the trickery or any like behind the scenes things that happen at brands. I think this is a really delicious fragrance. I love it because I also love Intense Cafe. It does remind me of one another. It's not identical, so really, really fun to wear. Another one that I wouldn't really wear when it's warm outside, now that we're going to the heat, summer heat, but I think come fall and winter, I think this will be perfect. So Roses Vanille from Mancera is at number 3. Number 2 is Red Tobacco. Why is this not at number 1? You know, this I love actually. It's number 2. It's overwhelming, it's intense, really, really beast mode. It's lots of tobacco, it's lots of vanilla, and then lots of spices with ambery patchouli touches. There's also oud here, and it's really, really overwhelming, like overwhelmingly beast mode. So if you like it intense, really, really intense fragrances, this is something you would try. It features tobacco, vanilla, amber, patchouli, cinnamon, oud, saffron, green apple, incense, peach, nutmeg, jasmine. I have several videos on the channel for this fragrance. Go check them out if you're curious about it. If you like intense, overwhelming fragrances, you definitely should not miss out on this one. I think it definitely is very, very intense. But some people say it's a little too much, and I agree, it can be too much. That's kind of why it's at number 2, not number 1. But it was also kind of a toss-up between this and number one. I like them almost equally. Either way, Mancera's Red Tobacco, go check it out. If you haven't yet, find my reviews on my channel. And also, if you are a fan, let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. And my number one is something I've spoken a lot about. I've spoken about this one a lot because it has one of the sexiest trails in fragrances. I've noticed that people wear it and I can smell it. It's really, really sexy off of me when I'm walking around. I can smell the cloud off me as well, which really I find very, very sexy. Hindu Kush, number one from Mancera. Such a great scent. And this one, not necessarily as intense as this one. It's kind of a wimp next to this one, but it's not necessarily a wimp with a trail, you know? If you like a sexy trail, if you love compliments, if you like to smell great, you definitely should check Mancera's Hindu Kush. And also, even though it's called Hindu Kush, there's cannabis. I don't really get a true cannabis-like smell. There's something under there, something herbal, kind of lightly camphoric, but it doesn't really remind me of cannabis too much. But either way, I'm going to take it because I really love the way it smells, and people compliment me when I'm wearing it. And I compliment myself when I wear it as well. Cannabis, incense, woods, spices, patchouli, amber, gaiac wood, vanilla, labdanum, white musk. There is a creamy woody touch here with the gaiac wood in here, and all the other notes really, really shine and amplify off of you, especially a little bit with a little bit of warmth out there and your body warmth. And just wait for some compliments to come in. Now that we are out and about and wearing lots of fragrances out and about, I think you should definitely try this. And this one, even though it can be deep and rich and maybe a little intense, wear it in the heat a little bit and see how people react to it. I think they'll be reacting to it positively. At least they have to me, and I have to other people that wear it. Anyway, Hindu Kush is my number one favorite Mancera fragrance. I think it's a really, really great fragrance. Smells fantastic and projects really beautifully off of me. Anyway, those are my 12 favorite Mancera fragrances. I know there's a lot more Mancera fragrances out there. I don't own every single one of them, sadly. But if I'm missing anything, let me know. Put a comment down what I'm missing. I'd like to find out. There's a few out there that I'd like to, you know, check out and add to the collection. But I think this is a pretty solid collection here. I'm covering a lot of different ground with the different styles and things like that. So this definitely satisfies me. But if you have a favorite, really favorite fragrance from the House of Mancera that I did not speak about today, let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out and perhaps check into for a future top 20 Mancera fragrances video. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. Stick around till after the outro, the outro, for the info on the Twisted Lily sample kit. But if you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So thanks for sticking around for finding out about my Twisted Lily sample kit. It's live on Twisted Lily now, and you only have 1 more month to have access with the sample kit. This is it right here. It's $25 and it comes with 5 samples, bonus one, which I haven't really announced what it is. It's a perfect bonus sample fragrance to wear in the summertime. I think it's great. It's green and grassy. It's herbal with light rosy touches. So that's the bonus sample, but this sample kit comes with 5 samples that are like this. And as I said, it's $25, and any of you that love samples and are starting out new in fragrances and niche fragrances, I think this is a great way for you to discover some fragrances that you might have not discovered. I know there's a few popular ones in here, including that Montal Intense Cafe that I spoke to you about that kind of reminds me of Rose's Vanille. That sample is in here. But there's also a sample from Maison Francis Kurkdjian, Grand Soir. Juliet has a Gun Not a Perfume Superdose. There's also an Italie Libre d'Orange fragrance called Tom of Finland for a great leather fragrance, buttery, smooth, kind of suede leather-like leather fragrance with kind of a light gourmandish touch to it. And so those are the different samples that are in here. And as I said, there's a bonus sample that is a great sample for a summer wear. I think it's a fresh, very, very invigorating green fragrance with light rosy touches. So the kit is $25. It comes with these awesome cards like this. Well, first of all, it comes with a note in my photo right here. The fragrances are listed back here. And then the cards, you can take notes down for the samples and write down what you think about it. And then of course, it's $25. With Perfume Guide 10, you save 10% off of this kit. And then the $25 you get back if you decide to buy something, because there's a $25 coupon in the kit as well. Plus you can use the 10% off in addition when you decide to buy something to save 10% off as well. So I think it's a great way to discover new fragrances. There's still some you know, quantities of this kit left. That's why I'm doing this additional little video at the end. So hopefully you guys will go and take advantage of this kit. If you have already bought it, let me know, put a comment down so I can find out. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. I appreciate it, and sticking around to watch the video after the outro or outro about this Twisted Lily sample kit. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Goodbye.